Hello and welcome. This is the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemuyi. First, let's look at the headlines. Donald Trump stages a comeback as world leaders hail historic feat. Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga engages West African leaders in regional diplomatic move. Plus, President Bola Tinubu suspends Federal Executive Council meeting as Nigeria mourns late Chief of Army Staff General Abuja. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi. Now, Donald Trump clinches a victory over Kamala Harris in the struggle to occupy the seat of the 47th President of the United States. The win by the Republican Party following one of the most hostile campaigns in the country's modern history is remarkable owing to a criminal conviction, an assassination attempt, as well as warnings from a former chief of staff. Now let's have details from Uche Ugochukwu.
We have thousands of friends on this.
Republican former President Donald Trump has won the White House, securing more than the 270 Electoral College votes needed to win the presidency.
It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try, we have to try, and it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that.
Trump won in more than half of the 50 U.S. states, including 4 key battlegrounds: Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, 3 of which voted for the Democratic Party in the last election. Donald Trump's victory is a remarkable comeback 4 years after he was voted out of the White House and ushering in a new American leadership likely to test democratic institutions at home and relations abroad. 78-year-old Trump told his supporters who gathered to cheer him in Florida that America has given them an unprecedented and powerful mandate which he must deliver.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Trump's political career had appeared to be over after his false claims of election fraud led a mob of supporters to storm the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in a failed bid to overturn his 2020 defeat. However, he swept away challengers inside his Republican Party, beating Democratic candidate Kamala Harris by capitalizing on voter concerns about high prices and a rise in crime. Trump prevailed despite persistently low approval ratings. He was impeached twice, has been criminally indicted 4 times, and found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. His victory, analysts say, will have major implications for U.S. trade and climate change policies, the war in Ukraine, America's taxes, and immigration. Vice President Kamala Harris fell short in her 15-week sprint as a candidate, failing to galvanize enough support to defeat Trump, who occupied the White House from 2017 to 2021, or to allay voters' concerns about the economy and immigration. A second Trump presidency, they say, could drive a bigger wedge between Democrats and Republicans on issues such as race, gender, what and how children are taught, and reproductive rights. Despite legal woes and controversies, Trump is the only second former president to win a second term after leaving the White House. The first was Grover Cleveland, who served 2 4-year terms in 1885 and 1893. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And now President Bola Tinubu extends his heartfelt congratulations to President Donald Trump on his re-election as the 47th President of the United States of America. President Tinubu looks forward to strengthening the ties between Nigeria and the United States amid the complex challenges and opportunities of the contemporary world. President Tinubu says, together we can foster economic cooperation, promote peace, and address global challenges that affect our citizens. According to President Tinubu, Trump's victory reflects the trust and confidence the American people have placed in his leadership. He congratulates them on their commitment to democracy. President Tinubu believes that given President Trump's experience as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021, his return to the White House as the 47th President will usher in an era of earnest, beneficial and reciprocal economic and development partnerships between Africa and the United States. Acknowledging the United States' influence, power and position in determining the trend and course of global events, the Nigerian leader trusts that President Trump will bring the world closer to peace and prosperity. In the meantime, world leaders on Wednesday congratulated Republican candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump on his victory at the polls. Charles Alpha has a compilation of the messages.
Francis Emmanuel Macron was among the first to congratulate Trump on X. Macron said, and I quote, "Congratulations, President Donald Trump. Ready to work together as we have done for 4 years with your convictions and mine, with respect and ambition for more peace and prosperity." British Minister Keir Starmer, in his congratulatory message to the president-elect on his historic election victory, said he looks forward to working with him in the years ahead as the closest of allies. The UK and US stands shoulder to shoulder in defense of their shared values of freedom, democracy and enterprise. From growth and security to innovation and tech, I know that the UK-US special relationship will continue to prosper on both sides of the Atlantic for years to come, added Starmer. Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky praised the Republicans' peace through strength approach, while Russia floated the idea of resetting relations. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu talked about a new beginning for America. China says it will work with the US on the basis of mutual respect, but strategists indicate Beijing was bracing for 4 more years of bitter superpower rivalry over trade, technology, and security issues. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said for a long time Germany and the US have been working together successfully, promoting prosperity and freedom on both sides of the Atlantic, and will continue to do so for the well-being of their citizens. For Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, while congratulating Trump, said Italy and the United States are sister nations linked by an unshakable alliance, common values and a historic friendship, adding that it is a strategic bond which will now be further strengthened. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte also congratulated Trump, saying his leadership will be key to keeping NATO alliance strong. He said he looks forward to working with him again to advance peace through strength. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said, "I warmly congratulate Donald J. Trump. The EU and the US are more than just allies. We are bound by a true partnership between our people, uniting 800 million citizens. So let's work together on a strong transatlantic agenda."
Together, the United States of America and the European Union have built an unprecedented partnership. It is rooted in common history and shared values of democracy, freedom, rule of law, the respect for human rights, social justice, and an open economy. Our partnership has underpinned the rules-based international order for decades.
Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now joining us in the studio to discuss this is a Nigerian American, Idon Akogun, who has been following this election keenly. You're welcome to the studios of NTA International, Mr. Idon Akogun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, Mr. Idon Akogun, for you, what were the issues that influenced American voters in this election?
Thank you so much. And first of all, my huge congratulations to President Trump. It's safe to say President-elect Trump. Congratulations to every Nigerian American. Of course, congratulations at this point to generally every American citizen out there, whether you're black, white, or every background you are. Congratulations for a successful election series this period in time. It was peaceful and, of course, amazing to watch the election series go unhinged and peaceful, regardless of what any reports had to say. It was a successful election to watch and, of course, witness. For me, the entire series was, of course, something that the American people were keenly participating in because of key issues. Number one, of course, was the economy, healthcare, international relations, and of course, immigration. Those were the main things that were, to me, were the things that, of course, the American people were looking at. Immigration, of course, because illegal immigration was something that, you know, was for the past 4 years, the Biden administration was looking at and battling with across the borders. So that's something that we're battling with. Healthcare. Cost of healthcare was going up and down for the past 8 years. Education was something, of course, is something that the Biden administration and the Trump administration has been criticizing in terms of the LGBTQ community and what's been going on with our young kids between the ages of 0 and, you know, LGBTQ rights and so many things that are the issues that have to do with rights in regards to education. So there's so many issues that were burgeoning during the election that, of course, at the end of the day, that the results came out with the Trump election, with Donald Trump winning. So that was something that we believe that caused the election to go to the way of the Republican Party. So that's something I think that Trump won, and was something that we have to give him congratulations for. It was not anything that we can say, oh, you know, it was decided the Democrats' fault or the Republicans' fault. It was something the American people wanted. So it's a peaceful election. It was something that we all wanted, and it's something they all got. So we give Trump and the Republican parties good kudos for that, and we give them a congratulations for the American people and the Nigerian people who voted for this election a peaceful, and I hope that this next 4 years for him is something that they keep going forward, and we hope the American people show the world that this election is not just something that happened, but happens to show an example to the world that America is here to show leadership in going forward.
Now talking about international relations, you know, what do you think the Trump presidency will mean for Africa in areas like economy, education, and security support?
So definitely it's a new administration, and I'm sure Trump, you know, as coming in for another term right now, we don't want to, I'm the kind of person that believes that we don't want to assume anything. We want to give him the best wishes for a new term. So I want to give him the pray and hope for the best going in. But as far as I'm concerned, if you look at the past, what he has done in the past, he's a bridge builder. Whether it's with Russia, North Korea, and every other administration, he believes America comes first. So I wish him the very best going into this next 4 years. So I know when it comes to Africa, you can bet that every program he's going to come in, he's going to do something new and create new programs that will enhance something different, whether it's in education, whether it's in security. So we in Africa have to bring and project what we feel is going to make our country, our economy, and bring projects that we really will push our economy and our establishments forward and bring that to the table that will make our continent in the forefront for him.
Now, on a final note, what do you think will happen in global peace pursuit, you know, judging by Trump's antecedents?
Well, that's another, back to what I said. You can't foresee these things. You only have to hope for the best. And I pray in the next 4 years, we want Trump to do the best he can do and hope for the best for him. We can't foresee the future of these things. But we know that from the past, what he's done in the past, he's a bridge builder. He's approached North Korea, he's approached Russia, he's talked to these organizations, talked to these countries. So we know that he wants to do what is best for America, what's the best for the world, and we hope that it's what he continues to do for Africa and other countries within the continent and across the world.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Idon Akogun. Thank you so much for your time with us here. Now, moving on, as part of an effort to strengthen regional cooperation and integration in the West African sub-region, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, met with the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Embalo. This formed part of Nigeria's diplomatic engagement to address key economic challenges and stability of the West African sub-region. Garba Natala reports that the minister and his delegation entered a closed-door session with the aim to foster constructive dialogue, deepen trade relations among member states, and advance regional cooperation. Yusuf Tuga also advocated Nigeria's bid to secure a permanent seat for Africa at the United Nations Security Council, as well as secure a seat at the International Court of Justice. And Guinea-Bissau's President Umaru Embalo promised to support Nigeria in its cause. Similarly, in the Gambia, Yusuf Tuga met with the Vice President Mohamed Jallow. Issues discussed centered on political stability, security, and strengthen relations between Nigeria and the Gambia. Yusuf Tuga also engaged his counterparts in building trust and strengthening key areas needed to ensure success and safeguarding the interests of Nigerians based in their countries. You're watching the news on NTA International. We now take a short break. We'll be back shortly. To stay with us. Now, considering the complex nature of security within the Lake Chad region, scientists, researchers, and other stakeholders of the Lake Chad Basin have come together to propose solutions for the region's development and stabilization. Elizabeth Omori reports that the adoptable recommendations include political stability, women inclusion in government, and massive investment in agriculture.
Activities of extremist groups, conflicts and natural disasters have made the Lake Chad region a dreaded area. Millions displaced and property destroyed. The horror still unending. The recent Maiduguri flood is a stark reality of the environmental challenges in the area. Addressing these challenges in the Lake Chad have brought experts from within and outside the region to identify areas needing attention and share technical advice for long-term pragmatic solutions.
We need to have strong funding. We need to have synergy, especially with the donor partners, with the local communities, and some of the towns that are around the Lake Chad.
A case of displacement crisis in northeast Nigeria, according to IOM, is complex, with more than 2.3 million people displaced by violence linked to actions of non-state armed groups and clashes.
Our governor was able to establish a forum of reconciliatory forum, and it was passed by the House of Assembly to avoid enmity among citizenry. So when you talk of reconciliation, at least they will end up in a smile.
All the time that we have been having problem, either farmers, herders, or whatever, even the common family problem, we normally apply the dialogue. We bring the two parties together and sit down, hear from all of them, and then resolve their own problem.
Other recommendations include trust building, support for livelihoods, and mitigating environmental degradation. From N'Djamena, Chad, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And members of the Federal Executive Council under the chairmanship of President Bola Tinubu have honored the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, by postponing the council meeting earlier scheduled for this Wednesday. Status correspondent Musbaudan Wahab reports on the mood at the presidential villa earlier today.
It came a tale of a refreshing moment ending in heartbreaking mode. The newly appointed ministers who came for their first attendance arrived into the welcoming hands of the old ones. And council members were set for another round of a brainstorming session. But then, the interesting moment was soon short-lived. Vice President Kashim Shettima announced the decision of the council as directed by the chairman, President Bola Tinubu.
We have suspended the council meeting in honor of the late Chief of Army Staff. May his soul rest in happy. Let's observe 1 minute silence in his honor. and his soul rest in peace.
The nation is in mourning. The president and the entire government is in mourning. He was indeed a very resourceful officer who has put it in best to fight insurgency in this country, and for the many achievements he has succeeded while serving this great nation.
He was a gallant officer, very, very hardworking. He was indeed a warrior. He has served in so many theaters and have done commendably well. It's a very sad loss for the country. We pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to receive him and to bless him.
We send in our condolences to the family of the deceased and Mr. President, because it's a great loss to this nation.
Major General Taurid Abiodun Lagbaja.
Late Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, appointed in June 2023 as the 27th Chief of Army Staff, passed away Tuesday night. Second to die in this capacity in 4 years after late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, who died in a plane crash near Kaduna International Airport in 2021. The acting Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, visited the President for situation reports.
Very passionate about Nigeria, and he led the Nigerian Army very well. He was courageous. He was known to be thorough and a professional to the core. So it's a big loss to us.
Just a day before, President Bola Tinubu, in his capacity as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, promoted and decorated the acting Chief of Army Staff to a new rank of Lieutenant General. Now, whether he will be confirmed as the substantive head of the army remains to be seen in the coming days. From the State House, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed regret over the death of Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Abiodun Lagbaja, after a brief illness at the age of 56. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that President Tinubu has directed that national flags be flown at half-mast throughout the country for 7 days in honor of the departed Army Chief. The President appreciates the services of the departed to the nation and wishes the family the fortitude to bear the great loss. And former President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over the death of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, describing him as a patriot and an outstanding officer who served the nation with utmost diligence. In a statement following the official announcement of the demise of the Chief of Army Staff, the former president said he was deeply shocked by the news of death, adding that the nation had lost one of its finest soldiers. He prayed to the Almighty to repose his soul and reward his courageous services to the Nigerian Army and the nation. The former president extended his condolences to the family of the deceased, the Nigerian Army, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the government and the entire people of the country. Now, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, in collaboration with the United Nations, is developing a strategy to expand the scope of information dissemination and social safety nets of the Renewed Hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. A technical workshop at the headquarters of the ministry brought together relevant stakeholders to review the social protection communication strategy. Sali Abdullahi Wanara reports.
In the implementation of the Renewed Hope 8-point agenda, effective communication is crucial. Therefore, this workshop is to identify and address gaps, develop targeted messages, build trust, and strengthen feedback mechanism on the journey so far. In a message, the Minister of Information and National Orientation acknowledged the deliberate efforts by the Tinubu administration to prioritize social protection through programs such as the conditional cash transfer, school feeding program, under the National Social Safety Net, already impacting millions of Nigerians.
These efforts can only reach their full potentials if we successfully connect with the communities that stands to benefit. This is where communication becomes indispensable. By crafting clear, relatable, and culturally relevant messages that we can foster a more inclusive and supportive environment where all Nigerians feel the benefits of government support programs.
It was agreed that the UN should work with all the stakeholders, especially led by the Minister of Information, to work on a communication strategy or approach that will enable Nigerians to understand the commitments of government, what they are benefiting, and how the government is trying to solve their problems.
Look at the question asked now. How many households have been touched by the social investment? People don't know. So we need to now be strategic in pushing out the information and explaining programs and policies of government, especially the ones that touch the less privileged, the downtrodden, because that is the mantra of this government.
75% of our people are young people, and so you will not find them watching TV or listening to it. If they are watching TV, they are not watching news, they are watching music and movies. And so that is just part of the problem. And so we need to reach them through the channels that they are used to.
At the end, a draft communication strategy is expected to communicate the work, values, and priorities of the renewed Hope government. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Now, before we go, let's have a quick look at Thursday's weather forecast for Nigeria and other parts of the world. A weather forecast there ends the news. Thanks for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemwi. Shegun Ajay has been the sign language interpreter. I will say bye for now.